Thank you. Mark is currently away, traveling on business, but you can all have a big hello from London from me. Quite a busy commentary to go through today, as not only did we have the usual interesting weekly key reversals to look at and discuss from last week, but we had late last week the monthly key reversals for February as well. I'll start with the monthly key reversals. In the currencies, we only had the two lesser known pairings. US dollar Egyptian pound, the 1 year NDF, had a monthly key reversal up, and it had an extraordinary follow-on move higher in March, racking up new all-time highs. You just need to look at my daily chart to see it. Meanwhile, in Aussie dollar Japanese yen, we had a monthly key reversal up, and the result, well, has been a very limited move higher. And I suppose this one is a slow burner, and we may have to wait some time in what is, after all, a longer-term pattern. US bond futures had a monthly key reversal down in February, and in this one there has been no follow-through lower at all. The opposite, in fact. There was also no confirmation here with any of the other fixed income futures for such a pattern. In the commodities, we had a monthly key reversal up in LME 3-month nickel in February. This has seen a nice follow-on higher in March, up to levels not seen since early November last year. I deal with this metal more fully in my metals video commentaries. Then there's the monthly key reversal up in EEX butter futures, which was reinforced by a weekly key reversal up last week as well. So 2 for the price of 1 there. There has been a small follow-on higher this week, so it's worth keeping your eye on this one. Finally, there is a trio of monthly key reversals up we saw in February in stock indexes in China. We had monthly key reversals up in the Chinese CSI 300 stock index, in the Shanghai Composite Index, and in the Chinese CSI A50 stock index as well. All these 3 stock indexes have been small but reasonable follow-on higher moves after the monthly key reversal up in February. Okay, so that deals with the monthly patterns. Let's look at the weekly patterns. And in the currencies, there was a significant weekly key reversal down in US dollar against the Japanese yen. Here we saw an early attempt higher this week that was swiftly rebuffed, and prices have started to fall away both yesterday and today. We have support at 149.19 and then not much until 147.65. I deal with this currency pair more fully in my daily FX video commentary, so please have a look. In fixed income futures, we had an odd pairing. UK gilt futures had a weekly key reversal up, but German Bund futures had a weekly key reversal down. Interestingly, the UK gilt futures proved to be the more dominant, as prices have risen for both since last week. There was no weekly key reversals in the stock and stock index markets in the markets I follow, but there was a whole host of commodity futures with weekly key reversals last week. ICE Brent crude oil futures had a weekly key reversal up last week, but we've not seen any resultant moves higher this week, with instead the market tackling last Friday's action on the downside, though we're still within last week's range for now. I'll cover this more fully in my daily Brent crude oil and spot gold commentary. However, I would note we had no movements in sympathy from NYMEX WTI crude oil futures or from any of the products either side of the Atlantic to this. A controversial weekly key reversal down now, but one that has seemingly indicated what was going on. There was a weekly key reversal down in New York sugar futures. It was controversial as it was only really visible on the front month continuous chart, the one I use, and also had a late week gap due to changeover. However, we have seen a follow-on lower this week as far as the April 2020 to date uptrend of all things, and that's currently at 20.60. I deal with this more fully in my weekly sugar market video commentary published earlier this week. Now for some more obtuse and lesser known ones. I've already mentioned the weekly and monthly key reversals up in EEX butter futures, but we also had a weekly key reversal up in both CME Lithium futures and CME Cobalt futures last week, if only just on both. The pair have seen a suitable follow-on higher to these weekly patterns. In shipping, we saw a weekly key reversal up in the Baltic Panamax index, though not in the Handymax or Supramax indexes. Nevertheless, we have seen a follow-on higher to this pattern this week. Finally, in the commodities, we saw a weekly key reversal up in the NYMEX Henry Hub gas futures last week. This week has seen a suitable follow-on higher already. One final weekly key reversal, and that is for the TikTok generation out there. We saw a weekly key reversal down in AMC stock of the US. There was an attempt at a follow-through lower on Monday this week, but yesterday seemingly saw that rejected. This came after the weekly key reversal up we saw at the start of February. As always, I'm happy to answer any direct questions with anyone who is interested. And with that, I'll finish this section from London. And I hope that you found these comments useful.
Thank you for listening. This weekly broadcast gives the essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted both at the front and at the back of this broadcast. Copyright is Eddie Topic and ADM Investor Service International Limited. And here comes the final important bit.